Good evening, everyone. This is Chris around the ATL, and this is the rant of the day. Now, for this one, it's not so much a rant as much as it will be a review of certain things. And just to kind of bring out certain points that I've been making for a while, for a long time, I guess it'll end up being a rant. But we just saw OKC, the defending NBA champions, get knocked out of the Western Conference Finals by the San Antonio Spurs. And there were clear-cut reasons why. What are the five things I've said for years that you need to be able to have a winning organization that has a chance to win a championship? You have to have an owner that wants to win and does everything necessary to win. You have to have a general manager that makes wise decisions over a long period of time, not just one and done. You have to have a good to great coach. You have to have good to great players, and you have to be healthy. OKC was missing one of their better players per health, right? So with all the other things for OKC, Jay Will being there and not being there made a big difference, didn't it? Right? You also had another player out for them. Was it his name? Mitchell, AJ, or whatnot? So those two players, it caused some issues with their regular production on the court. But even beyond that, one of their mainstay players basically just dipped out. 10 points a game average for the series, which I'll get into in a second. But you have San Antonio on the flip side that over decades, right, they have shown time and time again they could put a winning and competing team on the table and have a chance to win championships for a long period of time. Now, yes, they did have some downtime, some down years per se, but that was as a result of rebuilding from what they did have, literally from scratch. Because sometimes that's what you have to do. And they made a lot of right decisions. There was someone just, I think today, mentioned it in regards to, the draft and the ability of a team to hit all the time on the draft. Well, yeah, some can. Some do. Just not the Atlanta Hawks for some reason. Can't get it right all the time, Chris. You sure you can if you work hard at doing it, but that's not what I want to talk about tonight. Okay? So let's use not San Antonio, but OKC as an example in regards to what happens if you do have great players, but they don't play well. See, part of that good to great in regards to the players, you can have all the good players on your team, but they still have to perform. That's part of it, right? They still have to do what they're supposed to do on the court. We've seen that throughout the years of players that are really good, but they get swept out the playoffs. Shaq and Kobe didn't win championships every single year, did they? No, they didn't. Right? That's a fact. Right? Again, Michael Jordan got swept out the playoffs 2 years in a row early in his career. Him averaging 45 points a game in one series. A lot of people forget about that. So how do you regulate that? Right? So everybody has to do their job all the time to win. And what I've always said was, we've never had a lot of actual players. We've had guys for the most part, and that's not enough. That's not enough. There was a clip I saw of Rick Smits in Indiana, and I'm thinking about the years of Rick Smits over there in Indiana, and what did we have over here? John Concact and Andrew Lane. Yep, that really evened out the production every night on the center side, right? Concat, and then I had somebody try to legitimize John Concat, say he was a good player. He did great things. He helped us get to the playoffs. Someone said that to me. But anyway, let's talk about OKC real quick. So in a game 7, right? Game 7. Now remember, OKC, they're the defending world champions, right? With the back-to-back MVP on the team, right? Had a chance to do something only a few other players have done. Win an MVP and win an NBA Finals in the same year more than once. Back-to-back at that, right? Here's what the team did in a Game 7 situation, okay? Now, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander out there fighting for his life is how I've been saying it, right? He was 12 of 21 from the floor, 57%. 2 of 5 from 3, that's 40%. 9 of 11 from the free throw line, it's 81%. Had 4 rebounds, 9 assists, 3 steals, had a block, only had 3 turnovers, 35 points in the game. Okay. Anybody blame SGA for losing a Game 7? Y'all blame him? You got to, right? For some of you, that's what you would prefer to do, right? None of the other players had anything to do with this, right? Because see, in Atlanta, that's how people do, right? If SGA had played bad also, right, you really would have went in on him, right? But even though he played well, you're still going to blame him, right? That's the way you do it. I'm going to get to that in a moment. I'm going to get to it. This is where it becomes the rant in a second. Lou Dort went 1 for 4 in this game. Played 15 minutes. Isaiah Hartenstein went 3 for 7 in this game, 42% from the floor. He's a big. He doesn't shoot anything. He just does that little push shot thing, right? It was 3 of 7. He had 5 rebounds in the whole game. 5. Okay. By the way, only one player on this team had 10 rebounds, and it was Jalen Williams off the bench in his 25 minutes. He was 11 and 10 in the game. 11 points, 10 rebounds. Chet Holmgren went 1 for 2 in the game. 2 of 4 from the free throw line. He had 4 rebounds. He did have 2 blocks and 2 steals. He played 32 minutes, though. So 3 of the starters, I always talk about when teams play another team and you're playing 4-on-5 because one of your players can't hit a shot, he's just not in the offense at all. OKC was basically playing 2-on-5. 2-on-5. You had 3 starters score 14 points total, while you had Caruso go 3 for 14 in the game. Elimination game. Jared McCain went 5 of 12. After having a great series, he went 5 for 12. 1 for 6 from 3 Caruso, 2 for 7 for McCain. That basically was your ball game, because if any of those 2 guys hit any shots, OKC probably still wins this game. They lost this game 111 to 103. Think about that. Jalen Williams, as I said, went 5 of 9 from the floor, 1 of 3 from 3. He had 10 boards. He had 4 assists in this game. 3 players had 4 assists each in this game. And then Shai had 9. But that was basically your ball game, guys. Isaiah Joe didn't play. Wiggins wasn't there. Again, A.J. Mitchell and Jalen Williams not available. Somebody had to step up, because, see, with San Antonio, you had Champagnie, 6 of 11 from the field. He had 6 threes in this game. Had 6 boards as well. Had 20 points. Castle, 16 points. Fox, 15 points. Dylan Harper, 5 of 8 from the floor, 2 of 3 from 3, 7 boards, 3 assists, had 12 points. Just out there killing them. Keldon Johnson off the bench, 4 of 8 from the floor. He had 11. Vassell had 11. Of course, you got Victor, 22 points, 7 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. He was in foul trouble. He played 41 minutes. He wasn't coming out. Got to win. Keldon, let's see, I already mentioned Keldon Johnson. Carter Bryant hit his only shot in his 3 minutes. He had 2 points. Cornette had 2 points and that big block. He also had 4 rebounds. Only one person didn't score on the Spurs, and that was Harrison Barnes. He played 3 minutes. He's the only one who didn't score in the game. San Antonio has players on that team. And even though Vassell shot bad, played defense. He was everywhere. Had 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, right? De'Aaron Fox pulled through going to his first finals. Yes, it's because he's with San Antonio and he has Victor there and everything like that, but he did his job. He did his job. 6 of 12 from the floor, hit 3 threes, had 5 assists, had 3 steals, 15 points, right? They got players. This team got all the way to the finals, guys. And Victor, guess what? In his 3rd season in the NBA, took a team to a finals appearance because he has players around him, not just guys. Not just guys. Not just guys. These guys produce. Every night they produce. Every night they produce. One way or the other, they produce. And that's the difference. That's always the difference. One team having enough to get somewhere. The other team didn't have enough. OKC obviously didn't have enough. Wasn't Dort, wasn't Chet, wasn't Isaiah, and they didn't have Jalen or AJ Mitchell. That's a lot right there. Oh, Wiggins in there as well. That's a lot. Oh, Isaiah Joe in there. That's a lot. But they should have had enough, though. Jared McCain's been balling out. Why didn't he ball out then? Caruso has hit shots. How come he didn't hit shots? I mean, he was just missing chippies a lot last night, right? Cason Wallace, forgot to mention him. He did have 17. He was 6 of 10 from the floor. He hit 5 threes, had 7 boards, 4 assists, 2 steals, and a block. He did his job. Cason Wallace did. So, let me talk about something here. Realizing that, in a game that means something, who is blamed when the team doesn't win? And if you remember, I did a segment on around the ATL about a year and a half ago now, showing the play-in game. The last time the Hawks had a chance to get into the playoffs was the Miami play-in game from a year ago. And I showed you that overtime. I didn't show you the game. I haven't done a review of the game, but I've talked about it a lot. But I did do a review of the overtime. If you want, you can go, you know what? Let's see if I can find it. I'll post it in the comment section if I can find it without, oh, okay. Let's see. Live. And, you know what I'm supposed to be doing right now. Always forget about this part. There you go. Let's see. There it is. I'm going to put in the chat here. Hopefully you look. Oh, they've changed the chat. Add a destination to post comments. Oh, because I'm doing a recording. Well, I guess I can't do it. But anyway, if you go to the IMTM Worldwide Radio YouTube page and you go to Around the ATL side notes, Atlanta versus Dallas April 2nd, plus Miami versus Atlanta overtime. If you go there, you will see the review of the Atlanta Hawks in overtime against the Miami Heat. The shots that were taken in that game. Okay. In that overtime, watching the Miami Heat score 17 points basically in an overtime. And there's so many people have just insisted on saying, well, somebody gave up all 17 points in that overtime. That person was the reason we lost because he gave up that three-pointer. And I'm like, that is crazy work. When that three he gave up was the only points he gave up in that overtime. Besides being one of two players to score in the overtime as well. And being the reason they got to overtime in the first place. So let's talk about that. Because again, when you're talking about players being around your best player and what everybody does in the game, it has to matter. Because there's no way in the world people can say, oh, well, Shea didn't do enough. Shea is up there on the podium talking about he failed, but how do you fail when you got three starters scoring 14 points in the game and then Caruso and McCain not pulling through? I just told you what Caruso shot in that game. If he shoots 40, look, Caruso literally shot 21% in the game. If he shoots 45% in the game, they probably win. If he shoots 45% in the game, he has more than 12 points. He has closer to 20-something points. They probably win the game. Jarrett McCain went 5 of 12. That's 41%. If he shoots 48%, OKC probably wins this game, guys. All they needed from Chet was 10 points, not 4 points. You see what I'm saying? All they needed from Isaiah Hartenstein was 10 points. They didn't lose this game by 20. You see what I'm saying? They lost this game 111 to 103. So, in that play-in game against the Miami Heat a year ago, okay, I keep asking these questions and no one likes to answer them, so I'll use his name. Did Trae Young have 10 points in that game? Did he have 2 assists in the game? Yes or no? I just want a yes or a no. And when you see this, make sure you put it in the comment section. Was Trae Young responsible or not for getting the team into overtime? Who scored in overtime? Okay. How many starters for the Atlanta Hawks scored more than 11 points in the game? Starters. Go back and look. That's your homework. Because Trae Young had 29 and 11 in that game. Okay. He was 4 of 6 in the fourth quarter. 2 of 3 from 3. And hit the shot to get the team into overtime to give them a chance to still hopefully make the playoffs. Because otherwise the game would have been over in regulation. Why? Because Niang was 1 of 5 in the fourth quarter. He was 0 of 2 from 3. Why? Man had 5 points in that game. 5. The whole game. Vic didn't score at all. Zach had 3 points. He was 1 of 11 from the floor. 0 of 7 from 3. Muhammad Gay had 3 points in that game. Dyson in 44 minutes had 11 points. So just like OKC, guess what? What is 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 3 starters had 17 points in a play-in game. One and done. You win and you're in. You lose, you're gone. right? In that situation, by the way, Okongwu was the only other starter who did anything. He had 28. He was playing well. He was the only other starter who scored in overtime, by the way, too. There's only two people who scored in that overtime. That was Trae Young and Okongwu. That happened. Yet, everybody says, well, it has to be his fault. But see, that's why I did a review of the overtime and showed y'all shot for shot who actually gave up all the points. You need to go back and look and then reevaluate who you want to blame for a loss. Because the other thing about that particular game, there was 12 free throw attempts in that entire game. Trae Young had 8 of them. Why? Because you don't got nobody else who can get to the basket. You don't got nobody else who will challenge anybody to get to the basket. They had 12 free throw attempts the entire game. By the way, Zach and Muhammad Gay had 2 rebounds. That was it. All of those are actual facts. You have to have enough to advance, to go forward, to move on to the next, right? You have to. And for decades, the Atlanta Hawks have not had that. We would have guys, not players, but guys. In lots of cases, just randoms. Players that would never start anywhere else in the NBA. Wouldn't even be coming off the bench in a lot of situations. You had someone today on the internet again. Man, can the Hawks get a player like Shea? And you had someone had the nerve, the bloody nerve, to post a preseason game featuring Kobe Buffkin and say we traded him. Someone really did that in real life. That really, I saw it. I synced it with my own eyes. And again, I have to give him some facts here. I'm like, Kobe couldn't get on to the Brooklyn Nets. They didn't put him on the roster. He couldn't beat playing time on the Lakers with all their injuries at the time that they had. That was his chance to really prove himself, and he couldn't do it. Bronny, who has 4 points a game in college for his career. Kobe Buffkin was a much better college player than Bronny. I could prove that. He ain't good enough for the Lakers. He's not even in the league now. But Kobe Buffkin is good as Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, though. The 2-time MVP. That's what you have people out here saying. Nobody else in the NBA wants Kobe Buffkin. He is not playing in the NBA. But the Atlanta Hawks, oh, man, we have to have Kobe Buffkin. We have to keep him here. We can't trade him for Siakam. We got to keep him here because he's so good. So I want to give you a current analogy in regards to this thing about having enough. I hope this pulls up quick. That's ESPN. Oh, there it is, right there. Good. Because I don't believe people watch basketball. And by the way, this rant of the day is going to be followed up by Game 2, Hawks versus Knicks, NBA Playoffs 2026. So make sure you stay tuned for that and continue to watch. Make sure you subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And tell at least one Atlanta sports fan about the show. I'm going to go through this real quick. I'm going to try to go through this as quick as I can, okay? Because you need to hear some things. Because I know people don't like facts, but you got to hear them. You need to know what's going on. All right, so Game 1, the Hawks lost 113 to 102. In the first game, Dyson Daniels went 2 of 7 from the floor, didn't hit a 3. He had 4 points. 4. We lost this game. I've been saying by 9, but it's actually by 11 points. That's my fault, mistake. We lost by more points than I thought. Jalen Johnson, our best player, went 8 of 19 from the floor. That's 42%. He had 3 threes, 42%. 7 boards. Only had 3 assists, though. He averaged 8 for the season at 23 points. Congu, 6 of 9 from the floor, hit 4 threes. He had 19. Walker went 6 of 17 from the floor, though. 35% from the floor. He had 17 points. CJ, of course, had a great game, 11 to 20. That's 55%. Hit 4 threes, 26 points. We lost by 11. We had Gabe Vincent with 2, Kuminga with 8, Zach with 0, and Muhammad Gabe with 3. We lost this game by 11 points. So where should we have been looking? Our most improved player in NAW, who've been balling out of control, right? He went 6 of 17. I think he could have helped us a little bit. Dyson, if he had just got his average of 11, 12 points, I think that would have helped just a little bit. Kuminga, counting on him, had 8 points, 3 of 7 from the floor, didn't hit a 3. That's game 1. Now, game 2 was a little bit better overall, okay? In certain aspects, not so much. In the game, you won by 1. And one of the things I started saying after that was like, that's not sustainable. And I'll get to that as I go through all of the games. So in game 2, again, Dyson Daniels, 6 points. Starter, 6 points. NAW, starter, 3 of 12 from the floor now, 9 points. 2 starters, not in double figures. We won this game by 1 point. Jalen Johnson took 12 shots in that game. He was 6 of 12. That's 50% even. Had 8 boards, 3 assists again. Only 3 assists. Had 17 points. We won by 1 point. Okongwu, 6 of 9. Solid again, 15 points. CJ, again, 55% from the floor. I said that's not sustainable just by his playoff history. That's not sustainable. 12 of 22 from the floor. He had 3 threes. That's 30% from 3. Had 6 assists. He was 5 of 7 from the free throw line. And we know how almost that was the disaster of disasters, right? Right? Did you watch the game? He had 32 points in that game. So he had 2 starters not score double figures. Then off the bench, had Muhammad Gabe not score anything. Gabe had 3. Tony Bradley had 2. Corey Kispert had 4. Kuminga stepped up, had 19 points, 7 of 12 from the floor. And that's where I said, okay, well, it looks like we're going to play a 6-man rotation at this point because Kuminga played 34 minutes. Kuminga has to score 19 a game for us to have a chance. For us to have a chance to win this series, that has to happen. 19 a game at least from Kuminga every game. Right? We win this game by 1 point. Now, again, if you stay tuned, you'll see the game 2 review. And you'll see how the Knicks, the New York Knicks, were scoring all their points. Remember, in this game 2, the Hawks were down, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they were down by 19 points in this game. They were down 14 at one point in the 4th, and they came back and won, right? Let's look at game 3 real quick, because there's a pattern here. Again, I'm talking about having enough, right? And I'm talking about what are we supposed to expect from players who are supposed to be our best players, because who do you continually put blame on, right? Because in game 3, Dyson again scores single digits. This time it's 8 points, 3 of 7 from the floor. Now, in this case, he did do other things. 13 boards. He had 6 assists. He had 3 steals and a block. Yeah, he did have 5 turnovers. He won this game by 1. Okongwu, 4 of 7, 9 points. So, again, we have 2 starters not scored double figures. We won this game by 1 point. That's not sustainable, guys. I told you that, right? NAW again, 4-12 from the floor. That's 14 points. 3 straight games, our most improved player in the NBA not playing well. It is what it is. CJ went 8 of 19 in this game. So like I said, that sustainability of shooting 55% from the floor, he went 8 of 19 in this game. We won by 1. He had 23 points, though. And, of course, Jalen Johnson in this game, he went 8 of 19 in this game. That's 42%. 2 of 6 from 3. That's 33%. He did have 10 boards. He did have 8 assists. He had 24 points in this game. Rest of everybody else, Gabe Vincent had 5. Muhammad Gay had 5. Corey didn't score. Kuminga again, 21 points. I said, okay, if he can keep that up, it'll give us a shot. If he can keep that up, is that sustainable? It has to be for us to win because we just won back-to-back games by 1 point, even though 2 of our starters couldn't score double figures. Let's go to game 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go to game 4. Dyson Daniels, 3 of 7 from the floor, 6 points. This 4 straight games, he hasn't hit double figures. Kongu, 4 of 7. If it wasn't for a couple of extra shots near the end, he would have scored single digits again. He ended up with 12, though. Walker, a little bit better. 5 of 11 from the floor, 5 of 10 from 3, though. 15 points. CJ came back a little bit. 8 of 15 from the floor, 53%. He had 17. Jalen Johnson was 4 of 12 in this game. 1 of 5 from 3. He had 14 points. And off the bench, Gabe had 10. Muhammad Gay had 0. Kuminga went 3 of 10 in this game. 0 of 6 from 3. He had 10 points. Corey Kispert went 1 of 7 from the floor. 0 of 3 from 3. Had 3 points. Tony Bradley had 4 points. Keaton Wallace had 2 points. Zach had 3. Asa had 2. We lost this game 114-98. So whose fault is it? Oh, I haven't even started talking about defense at all because I'm going to wait until I actually do the reviews of all these games. But that's a responsibility of the people who are supposed to be better at defense than everybody else. And then our best player being the best player. But there's no expectation for him at all. And I think that's wrong because of what the last 7 years have said. Right? Even though he wasn't the one guarding the best offensive player of the other side, and he wasn't the one giving up all the points each night, which I've proved through 3 years of game film to show y'all that. But to not even think about wanting to say, well, it don't matter. There's always next year, right? Let's look at game 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's look at game 5. Okay. Game 5. Remember, the Hawks were leading in this series, and I said the Hawks should have won this series. The Hawks only lost game 1 by 11. We won the next 2. We were up 2-1 in the series. All we needed was a couple of the starters to get the double figures and Kuminga to score 15, 19, 20 points again, and we can win. We should have been up 3-0. No, Chris, nobody could beat the Knicks. We almost did. That's what people keep saying. Can't have it both ways. What did I say? Some people want it one way, but it's actually the other way, right? But you can't have it both ways. Two things can't be true at the same time, can they? Game 5. Dyson plays his best game of the series. 7 for 11 from the floor. 63%. He hit 2 of 4 from 3. What is this? 2 of 4 from 3. Uh-oh. He had 17 points. Jalen Johnson, 7 of 15 from the floor, 1 of 5 from 3. He did have 10 rebounds, had 6 assists, had 18 points. Dyson Daniels almost outscored Jalen Johnson in this game. Congo went 6 of 10 from the floor, 16 points. NAW had his best shooting night, 6 of 11 from the floor, 54%, 4 of 9 from 3, 44%, 16 points. CJ went 3 of 10 from the floor, had 6 points. Kuminga went 4 of 10 from the floor for 13. Gabe had 6. Bradley, Kispert, Muhammad Gay didn't score at all. Buddy Hield came in for 4 minutes, hit 2 of 3 from the floor, had 5 points. Keaton Wallace didn't score. We lost this game 126-97. Because of defense. Defense. But that nobody cares about. We watched Jalen Brunson, the shortest guy on the team, all 6'2" of them, score 39 points. And no one cared. It didn't matter. 6'2" guys can't make a difference. He went 15 of 23 from the floor, guys, and had 8 assists. We watched Karl Anthony Towns get a triple. Did he get a triple-double? No, he didn't get a triple-double. He went 16 points, 14 boards, 6 assists, 2 blocks. Watch OG get 17 and 10. Just didn't matter to nobody, right? Just anybody can just score whenever, right? And of course, the last game, which was the most disgusting game I've ever seen in my life. Playoff game? We've never seen anything like this before in Hawks history. That's a fact. Dyson Daniels went 1 of 4 for 3 points. Congo went 2 of 6 for 4 points. Another game where 2 stars didn't score double figures. Walker went 3 of 8 from the floor. That's 37% for 11 points. CJ 4 of 13 from the floor for 30% for 11 points. And then Jalen Johnson went 7 of 15 at 21 points. He did have 8 boards. He had 6 assists. But it didn't matter because we didn't play no defense for the 3rd straight game at all. Like the whole series, we weren't really playing any defense, but the last 3 were a debacle of debacles. Jalen Johnson had minus 43 plus minus. Dyson Daniels minus 36. Okongwu minus 38. NAW minus 29. CJ minus 24. Gabe off the bench was minus 27. Kuminga was minus 44. He played 22 minutes. People did what they wanted. Like Bobby Brown. My prerogative. Do what I want to do. I can't live my life. Right? And I said it wasn't sustainable. The play that you were seeing, the things that were happening in games 1, 2, and 3 were not sustainable. Because it's the Knicks. We should have beat the Knicks. We should have beat the Knicks. Could have beat the Knicks, but we didn't beat the Knicks. Because all the things that the Hawks are bad at didn't go away. They were masked. I've been saying this for months. They were masked. We still don't know how to play pick and roll. We still don't rotate. We don't know how to switch. We don't communicate on defense. We don't get back on defense. We don't attach ourselves to anybody during the possession. We don't stop the ball on a fast break. We don't do anything on defense right. We just don't. We won't do it. And a team like the Knicks, a veteran team with a whole bunch of good players, OG, Anunoby, world champion, really good player. Josh Hart, really good player. Karl Anthony Towns, really good player. Bridges, okay player. He's solid though, right? He was 10 to 12 in game 6 for 24 points. He killed us. Jalen Brunson, of course, you know who he is. Deuce McBride, Mitchell Robinson, Jordan Clarkson, Jose Alvarado. Shamet be hitting shots on us. They have a team of complete players that have specific jobs, and they do those jobs all the time. That's the difference. That's why they're in the finals this year. They almost did it last year. They almost had enough last year because they got to the Eastern Conference Finals a year ago, right? Just like the Indiana Pacers. They had enough to get to the finals. If Halliburton if he doesn't go down with an injury, they might be OKC a year ago. They had enough. They proved it. They proved it. And then health came in, right? What are the 5 things? The last one is health. So going forward, again, I don't know what the Hawks are going to do in this offseason, but they got to get off the snide as far as being in denial with certain players and not producing. Like, you can't help the team win. Why are you still there? The Hawks are just the homiest team of all time when it comes to stuff like that. We will keep you forever just cause. Just cause. And that's just not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough, guys. When you're fighting for your life, you need help. Last year in that Miami playing game, Trae Young and Okongwu were fighting for their lives. They didn't get no help. Shai Gilgeous fighting for his life out there. Chet gave him no help. Caruso gave him no help. They needed help. They needed help. Wemby got a whole lot of help this season, didn't he? Right? Even in the games he didn't play in. Because he missed time this season too, didn't he? Yep, sure did. And that's your difference. Do you have enough to where when your main guys are out, you can still win? Not just compete, but also win. That's my rant. The Hawks have refused to have enough. We just get guys to be able to run up and down the floor. We get coaches that don't know what they're doing out there when it comes to adjustment. They think calling a timeout is an adjustment. And no, it's not an adjustment. The adjustment is when this happens, you need to stay with your man. Stop following this guy, Bradley. Because every time you do that, they're going to throw an alley-oop. And so either they're not telling him or he's stupid. It's one or the other. It can't be both. Or I guess the third one would be he's just going to do whatever he wants to, which means he should be benched. He should not come in the game. Put in Koloko. Put in Asa. Put in somebody else to give you some energy and a stopgap. But every time they put in Bradley, what did they do? I can prove it. They threw an alley-oop. Steve Holman on 92.9 The Game said it. I was listening to one of the games. I was driving home from, oh gosh, what is that place called? Near Lake Lanier, because I was doing a prime photo shoot. So I didn't get to see the game because I was working. So I'm driving home, and then they say what the score is. I'm like, what? And he said, every time they put Bradley in there, they throw an alley-oop. I just shook my head. But then I looked at the game film, and I got mad because it was true. Every time that Bradley was in there, they ran it. And every single time, they just threw it to Mitchell. Just threw it to Mitchell. Every single time. Every single time. It was disgusting, really. So that is happening. We actually synced it with our own eyes. And you got people out there saying, oh, well, we're the second best team in the East. How? We lost all of our games by double digits. We lost 3 games. We gave up like 100 points. What are we talking about? We played well. We didn't play well. If it wasn't for Kuminga scoring 19 and 21 points respectively, the Hawks get swept. That's a fact. That's a fact. We get swept because we didn't play well enough to win. We played and won 2 games by 1 point. One of those games the Knicks definitely gave up. I say one of the games we played well in the fourth quarter, but even in that game, y'all, when you see the game film, you'll see it for yourself. Because again, when you see stuff shot for shot, it changes your perspective on things. Because you're trying to figure out, well, how come they're not playing defense? How come they're not blocking out? How come they're never with their man? How come they're letting their man score? Like, that happened. Like, there's just too many times we just let the guy shoot the ball. Like it don't even matter. And none of y'all say nothing. See, that's what makes me ponder about some of y'all out there, because you act like it don't matter. There's no excuse for some of these players. They're not 6'1", not smallish or anything like that. There's no excuse for it. None. Oh, Chris, you don't put no accountability on. Yeah, I did. All the time. The problem is he ain't the one playing Luka. He ain't the one playing Joel Embiid. He ain't the one playing Siakam. He ain't the one playing Spider Mitchell. He's not the one playing Brunson. Trae Young wasn't playing the best offensive player of the other team. That just wasn't happening. Our coaching staff was smart enough not to do that. Why would they put Trae Young on LeBron James? That wouldn't make no sense. And no, they weren't switching every possession to get on Trae Young. That just wasn't happening. You don't have the footage to prove it. Otherwise, you would have shown it by now. I can show you the footage, though, however, of teams not having to do that because they could score on whoever they were on. They didn't have to set screen after screen after screen after screen. They could just score on who we had on the court, and they did it. And this particular series proves that, because otherwise, if everybody was right in their whatever you want to call it out up in the head, oh well, if you get rid of Trae Young, defense will be great. Well, this shows otherwise. Because if he used the one person holding everything up, we should have beat the Knicks handily at that. Shouldn't have been no problem to stop Jalen Brunson. Shouldn't have been no problem to stop Bridges. Shouldn't have been no problem to stop Cat. Oh, well, we didn't have Jock Landale, Chris. 8 points and 4 rebounds. We couldn't replace that? For real? That's what y'all going with too? That's what people told me. Don't work with me, though, because I got game film. Anyway, that's my rant of the day. I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to do Game 2, Hawks versus Knicks, 2026 NBA playoffs, shot for shot. How did the Knicks score all those points? We're going to go through all 6 games. I'm going to show you everything. It's important. It's very important for you to see these things because, again, I don't think a lot of people watch the games. I just don't think they do. That being said, I'm going to get out of here. Y'all take care. This was Rant of the Day. Hopefully you tune in for the next episode. Make sure you, again, tell one person about the show. Did you like it? Also, don't forget, we talk Falcons, Braves, Atlanta United, Atlanta Dream. I got an episode coming up. Going to catch up with the last couple of weeks' events in all of those sports. And especially with the Braves and everything. You saw Ronald out there getting hot again. That's pretty cool. So stay tuned. Don't forget about the show. Thanks for the support thus far on around the ATL. Definitely appreciate it. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here for now. Again, stay tuned for Game 2 review, Hawks versus Knicks, NBA playoffs 2026. Till next time.